Hi guys, welcome back to KC Timeshare. For those who are new to my channel, my name is Casey and this channel is about my watch collecting journey and is a platform where I share my reviews and experience on certain brands and watches with you. Hopefully, it will help you to make an informed decision when you purchase your next watch. Today, I wanted to make a follow-up video to the TUDOR quality control issue I uploaded a while back. I'll leave a link to the video on the top right hand corner of your screen so you can check it out if you haven't watched it already. I would suggest you to check if you have the same quality control issue with your TUDOR watches, as ROLEX Service Centre confirmed to me that it is a common issue. In fact, a number of my viewers informed me that they found the same issue after watching my video. I'll drop a couple of pictures from my viewers here so that you can see it for yourself. To cut a long story short, I noticed a misalignment on the dial of my BlackBay58 Blue, and I brought the watch in directly to the ROLEX Service Centre. The watch was checked by a watchmaker, and ROLEX Service Centre had agreed to replace the dial for me. Now that I've collected my watch and have it back for a while, I thought I will share my experience with you. I have learned 3 lessons from my experience, and I think you'll find points number 2 and number 3 particularly helpful. And by the way, if you like my content and find it helpful, please subscribe to my channel as I will be uploading more videos like this in the future. Lesson 1. Be ready to park your watch away for a while. I was told by ROLEX Service Centre that they will have to order a replacement dial for me from Switzerland. The initial time frame that I got given was a couple of weeks, which I thought it was very reasonable, so I went ahead and dropped off the watch. 5 weeks later, I still haven't heard back, so I gave ROLEX Service Centre a call. I was told that they were still waiting for the parts, and that ROLEX Service Centre will contact me once the watch is ready for collection. I waited for a few more weeks and I still haven't heard back, so I called them up again. This time, I was told that the replacement dial did arrive, but the watchmaker noticed some marks on the replacement dial, so that they had to order another dial from Switzerland, and that I'll have to wait again. But this time, there was no definite timeline given to me. In the end, I think I waited for almost 3 months to have my watch collected, which was quite a bit longer than what was quoted by ROLEX Service Centre initially. Whilst I understand COVID or supply chain issues may have contributed to the delay, I think ROLEX Service Centre could have managed my expectation a bit better by giving me regular updates, as opposed to having me to call every few weeks to find out what was going on. Whilst it is a bit annoying that it took so long for ROLEX Service Centre to turn around my watch, it doesn't impact me too much as I'm lucky enough to have other watches to wear during that time. But I do want to bring this up to your attention, especially for those who have a one-watch collection, as you need to be prepared to not have your watch back for quite a long time. Lesson 2. Check the condition of your watch. On the day I collected my watch, I spent some time to inspect the new dial and was very pleased that the quality control issue was sorted. As I was about to put the watch back on my wrist and leave the ROLEX Service Centre, I noticed a big mark on the side of the case. Unfortunately, I didn't take a picture of it as I was quite upset about it at the time, so you'll have to take my word for it on this one. Whilst I was convinced that the mark was not there when I brought the watch in, I must admit that I wasn't 100% sure whether it was indeed damaged by ROLEX Service Centre. I felt a bit annoyed at myself as I didn't take the time to fully inspect the watch before handing it over to ROLEX Service Centre, and therefore I had no way to confirm to myself that if ROLEX Service Centre should have been taking the responsibility on it or not. So this was my second lesson learned. Always check the condition of the watch before handing it over, and also check it on the day of collection. If I were to do it all over again, I would have taken some pictures of the watch at the ROLEX Service Centre, and if you are leaving your watch at your authorized dealer, you might want to take some pictures at your AD. I will flag any existing marks to the person who you are dealing with, so he or she can acknowledge any scratches before taking the watch in. Lesson 3. Voice up if something is not right. My third and final lesson learned is related to my previous point. If you are not happy with the condition of the watch upon collection, do not be afraid to discuss that with ROLEX Service Centre. Like I said before, whilst I was convinced that the scratch was not there when I handed over the watch, I had no way to confirm whether ROLEX Service Centre really did scratch my case. I therefore felt very hesitant to discuss it with the watchmaker as I had no proof. I still remember I sat down at the reception area for a good 10 minutes when I internally debated whether I should voice this up. I figure if I didn't break it up on the spot, it would be even more difficult to ask ROLEX Service Centre to take responsibility of it if I change my mind later. I therefore decided to discuss it with the watchmaker about my disappointment. The watchmaker listened to my concern, and she reassured me that ROLEX Service Centre handles all watches very carefully, and therefore she was 99% sure that ROLEX Service Centre did not scratch my case. However, since I was not happy and had doubts on the accountability, she offered to do a light polish for me to get rid of the mark. I was initially a bit nervous about that, as the case may lose a bit of its shape after being polished, but I decided to go through with it at the end. It took her roughly 10 minutes to polish it up, and I was very happy with the result. I'm glad to see that she only polished the area where the mark was and left all the other areas untouched. The mark was completely gone, and I honestly think that the case shape looks exactly the same as my BlackBay58 Black, which has never been polished. Whilst I was initially very uncomfortable with the situation as I had no proof, I'm glad that I discussed my concern with ROLEX Service Centre and that they were very professional about it. So I would highly suggest you to voice up if you feel that something is not right, as there might be something that ROLEX Service Centre can do for you to address your concern. Overall, my experience with ROLEX Service Centre this time round is a bit neutral. Whilst I'm not totally happy with their customer communication and their turnaround time, I'm still very happy with their post-sales service, as ROLEX Service Centre did agree to replace my dial. And I also appreciate their effort to address my concern regarding the scratch, even though I was not 100% sure whether it was really damaged by them. I hope you have enjoyed listening to my story and found it useful. What has your experience been with ROLEX Service Centre? I would love to hear your story in the comment section down below. And if my story had put you off with TUDOR and ROLEX, and that you are considering Omega, perhaps a moonwatch, you can check out these videos to see if a Speedmaster is right for you.